have this phenomenal Zane Sweeney with us right now.
Wow.
Zane, of course, works with Legacy Athletics, and along with his partner and buddy, Brett Jakovic, they have started a marvelous facility on the south side of Edmonton. You guys used to be over near Wagner High School. Then you moved to the south side. What's the address again?
9748 12th Avenue Southwest.
Yeah, so 974. So, yeah, you're out there a ways, but, man, when you get there, it is worth the drive. They've got a great facility, but I think more than that, the facility is just the starting point for a wealth of programs. You've got kids leagues, adult leagues. You've got leagues for every age and group, clinics. You work closely with all the associations. And one of the great qualities, I think, of Legacy is that you're a collaborator in a community, the club community. And with all due respect to the people I'm dissing here, a lot of them are silo operators where you're a collaborator trying to work with clubs and doing a very good job of it.
Wow, yeah, I appreciate that. We joke that we like to be Switzerland as much as possible. And I say that wearing a hat branded with our own club that, we work with as well. But, yeah, we really do try to be in the middle, very collaborative, and just try to bring as many people together as possible.
Well, and I think one of the characteristics that always comes out when you view club sports across the whole panacea of sports is that the attitude becomes silo-like, and kids become regarded as property. They're my kid playing for my team, and there's a fear of losing that, and there's also poaching that goes on, all those things. But if you're Switzerland, like you're aspiring to be, you I think are willing to live with the results and the decisions of the kids and families that choose to play with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think having a facility changes all the math.
It does,
because
for sure.
At the end of the day, we're trying to bring a lot of people together. We can make our living off of the rentals of everybody being there versus sometimes families or people can be an asset on the line item, on your sheet. So if you lose one player, you can look at that as a dollar value leaving, which is totally fair. If you're making your living and your family's living and all of your employees' livings on that, it becomes very natural to look at it that way. So I think we're very blessed to have alternate revenue and lifestyle streams that we can afford for people to leave if they want to, which they should. They should always go and taste test.
Well, go and taste test too, and not be and want people to stay because of what you offer them and the connection you make with them.
Right.
And again, I know there's shenanigans that go on where there's the approaches that are made maybe that you could question, but in the end, it's their lives. Yeah. And it's their dollars. But Zane, you guys do a lot of things. Like you have massive tournaments.
Yeah. We host a lot of them, and we are hosts to even more.
Exactly. So you've got massive events going on. You've got leagues going on. You're busy morning to night. And that's up to and including adult leagues as well, which is really cool because I think the Edmonton Basketball Association has been the institution in the city. They do a fantastic job.
Yep.
But as the sport has grown, therefore the appetite has grown too. And also within the adult basketball world, there are desires for something that you address, which is more of one of your leagues is an elite basketball league where some of the better players that still want to be highly competitive can come together and go after it.
Yeah, that's just a hole or a gap that we happen to find. And I think, a lot of that comes from Brett's relationship with players of his era. Just a league built for guys that were fresh out of college or coming back home from playing pro. They had nobody to play against. You had to wall up and invite your two buddies that happen to go pro,
or go play in an EBA league. That let's be honest here is at that level, at the upper level, is a little more uneven in terms of quality of player.
Hugely uneven.
Yeah. And that's no diss to the players.
No.
It's just that, like I always tell people, like when you get past your prime and you're not training full time, everything gets spottier and spottier as time goes on.
And then if you have to do that after a long work day and guard a guy that just came back from playing pro, it's a bad experience for both of you.
It could be.
Right?
Yes.
So that's just unfair to both sides. So, we just have a smaller kind of semi-pro competitive league, whatever you want to call it.
And again, that finding that niche, like you said, finding that gap and trying to fill it. And I think the creativity that Zane and yourself at Legacy are offering is really, really great for the basketball community. Wow. Now, you have partnered up for this league that we're going to talk about right now, because another gap is 3x3. We really don't have a 3x3 focused effort. Now, there are people in the community that are doing great things. Coach Sam from up north has a marvelous women's 3x3 league, and she just texted me yesterday. And Sam, if you're listening, congratulations to you and all of the girls that are participating in that girls only club. Jacob Wojcicki is doing a fantastic job with his OTB Academy as well. And he is instrumental in our upcoming Hoop City EFCL League. And then again, a collaborator with you guys.
Sure, yeah.
And so, I mean, we've got some phenomenal people doing 3x3 stuff. But what you're doing at Legacy, when I say you're partnering up with Denzel James.
Yes. Great
player.
The best.
Great player at McEwen here in the city, along with Brett Jakovic. You were referring to Brett. Brett had a phenomenal career at Concordia University. So you've got two ex-players, young guys with ambitions, and Youth Hoops, Inc. is Denzel's group, and they're partnering up with Legacy Athletics to put on our Hoop City 3x3 League. Tell people about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I should say, none of it happens without yourself. I think you're a huge inspiration for all of us that are coming up in the next kind of wave of just looking at what you did for hoops in the city, and especially for 3x3 in the city, if not, in the West, honestly. But yeah, that was kind of the sparking off point of putting together a 3x3 league, especially in the summer. People are kind of all over the place. They don't have a lot of commitment, but you only need 4 players, right? You can get your little group together. You can split up a community league team into 2 or 3 teams, and it gets everybody a lot of touches. So we're launching that. We start off July 6th, so coming up here in a couple weeks. And then we have your event downtown that happens right after. So it's a summer of 3x3, hopefully. Fingers crossed, everybody.
That's right.
Everybody shows up.
It's not the summer of George, it's the summer of 3x3.
That's right. George has had his time.
Well, what I'm hoping people will start to connect the dots on, or start to ponder and consider, Zane, is 5-on-5. Anybody who plays 5-on-5 and is in a coaching situation, most people remember or participate in 3-on-3 in their practices.
Yes.
That 3-on-3 is a big part of learning the game. The outcome of this, let's talk about young people. They're in a 5-on-5 environment. Their coaches are at formal games with officials. They're substituting very formally. We talked about before, if you have 1 or 2 really good players, they're ball dominant. No offense to the good players, it's just the way it is. A lot of kids don't get the touches they want. But seeing this not as it's a decision, and it is a competition, but it's also an addition to your development, because you take away the in-game coaching, and now you add the pickup element back into the play, where kids now take what they've learned and make their decisions and build their own team chemistry, as opposed to having a coach yelling at them, making substitutions, telling them what to do. Yep. You can have a coach there and talk about it afterwards.
Sure.
But it's what did you learn through playing, as opposed to what did you learn listening to me talk.
And that's such a massive point that I think goes unnoticed in 3x3, which is why we use it so much in our practices, our development, and we encourage it so much, and why we as coaches and organizers play it ourselves. Don't get really good at running structure. 5-on-5 builds that. Coach can tell you exactly where to go, and they can tell if you're not that good, so you're just there to screen for Johnny or Sally, because they're really good.
Right.
So you're just there to screen and get out of the way. 3x3, you can't hide. You have to play the game. It's much more sandbox than it is classroom, but very intentionally, right? The kids should have some sandbox time. In fact, they should have 85% sandbox time. I think we way overcoach these children who are there to have some fun, realistically.
Well, great points. And I think if we trickle this down from the organized world of basketball, which is hugely important. But if we're kind of funneling it, both trickling down and funneling up, what we're talking about, to your point about unstructured time, is what we're talking about. Pickup ball, rat ball, however you want to describe it. Harder to find because of gym time. Yep. But that also ties into our event with EFCL, is that we're trying to, again, plant it into the community leagues that you don't even have to run an event. You can just send it out to your community. You know what? We're going to have 3x3 available on Saturdays from 10 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
Like, you can do any of those things. But then when you do a formal league like this, like you said, you really get, I think, in some respects, the best of both worlds, of organized structure, but emphasis on unstructured play and individual decision-making and freedom of expression, if you will, on the basketball court.
It really is. Everything is art, right? This is not literally painting, but it's the same concepts. You have a blank canvas and you do something with it, and then you tweak here and there. And why can't basketball be the same way? Just develop in your own way, by yourself or with your peers, and figure out who you are as a person, as a player, instead of you're the three, which means you stand here, and when they pass, you cut here, and then you go over here.
It's surprising to hear how many critics there are that are upper level Hall of Fame caliber former players in the U.S. that are very critical of the AAU model versus, say, the European model, which also has its own issues. But this, I think, is a wedge, a sensible and happy or potentially happy and positive wedge that you can put in the midst of this and say, hey, just go play.
Yes.
Show up. You're going to play 3-on-3. You're going to be able to dribble, pass, and shoot a lot. Yep. You know, and develop your game. Work on your game. I'm going to work on these things in this. So it's going to be great. So, again, repeat, if you would, Zane, the age groups.
Yeah. When
it starts, how people register.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have U11 through adults in men's and women's. U11 is where it starts with the boys, U13 for the girls. Boys play on Tuesdays, girls play on Wednesdays. It's as simple as that. The younger age groups start at 6, the older age groups start at 7:30. You go for 90 minutes. We have youth hoops there, of course, as you had mentioned, as a kind of a referee squadron to be out there to keep the games, honest. So there's pick-up elements, but it's definitely not rat ball. It's not just show up and just play 3x3. Definitely not.
And that's an important element to add to this, but you're not having – and we have great refs in the city.
Sure.
Yeah, but what this does is this I think brings it down also to the grassroots. Is you're officiating, but you're also supervising.
Yes.
You know, you just don't want it to get out of control because people can get hyper-competitive if it's call your own foul.
Of course, yes. Yeah. So you need an element of that, which is great. And then we, on the club side, on our Genesis side, have, we're going to put teams in. So we have a practice schedule for Monday. But a big thing that you said was coaches are there, but it's 3x3. So it's not, you don't get 15 timeouts. You're not calling the players over every 5 minutes to draw plays. You're supposed to be letting them play. So there should be a little bit of structure, but not too much.
Well, and I think, too, and what I'm hoping the outcome will be is that the coaches are instructed not to talk during the games.
Yep.
But like you said, leading up, fine. Afterwards, fine.
Of course.
But not during.
Yes.
That's supposed to be off limits for the players only.
The subs should be called themselves. These are just
100%.
Life skills and sports skills that players need to develop. The confidence to say, hey, sub, I'm in.
Yep.
High five, player comes out, versus looking at the coach or the parent saying, oh, I hope somebody subs soon, right? Or I hope somebody subs for me. We go Tuesday, Wednesday. We start July 6th. We run for 6 weeks. We take 3 weeks. We take a break, come back for 2, and we end with a big tournament that kind of leads into some larger scale stuff that I don't know if is announced yet later in the summer.
We'll be talking about that later, so that's great. Zane, that's fantastic. So how do people find out about this?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go on I believe the Hoop City website as well. Yep. You can also head to Legacy Athletics. It's plastered all over there, as well as Youth Hoops website as well. So legacyathletics.ca.
Okay. So you can go to legacyathletics.ca. You can go to Youth Hoops. I believe they're youthhoops.ca as well.
I believe they're .ca or .com. You'll find them.
And then it's 3x3ba.ca. You can find out about this. Please register, folks. It's going to be a great, great time, and it's going to be the start of even greater times coming forward.